boys? Welcome to the Urpog patch rundown. Woo! Yeah! Right now on screen, you're seeing the best build paths available to Urgot right now. So rapid fire it. Black Cleaver, Yomu, Sterex. That's one build path. And you do the opposite of that, which is Yomu's Black Cleaver, Sterex. Same build, different build path. Black Cleaver, Radiant, Redemption, and then Black Cleaver, Sterex, Even Shroud. So you're seeing a very common theme with all these builds, and they're all using Sterex, right? Sterex is like the most amazing Urgot item. If you're not currently using Sterex, start using Sterex, right? So when, why, and how. Let's talk about when, why, and how. So for the first two builds, which is pretty much the same build, just different variations of the build path, you want to start Yomus into lanes like Aatrox, Kale. You can go risky against Kennen and stuff like that, but generally speaking, you want to go Yomus first where you can get value with Serrated Dirk, right? Because Serrated Dirk is a lot better than Cool Fields, and Cool Fields builds into Black Cleaver. Cool Fields also builds into Eclipse. Cool Fields also builds into Yomus. But if you could always go Serrated Dirk and then go into BC, you would always build Serrated Dirk, right? Serrated Dirk is just a really early game convenient component. So if you believe you can get value from the tempo Serrated Dirk goes, then go Yomu's Black Cleaver, Sterex. But if you can't get value on like Serrated Dirk, like say you're against Ornn, etc., then you go Black Cleaver, you stat check them on BC, and then you use the movement speed you get from Yomu's to help stimulate your Black Cleaver, right? Basically, you do the top build if you're a more carry-oriented Urgot player, right? Let's say you like side laning, let's say you like using Hull Breaker, you like walking the side lane, get the movement speed, kill a champion, push a lead, get out there immediately, shielding shenanigans. You just like being aggressive, right? These two build paths on screen right now at the top, aggressive. You like to fight people, you like to split push, you like to 1v1 people, you like barriers, you like shields, you like being that guy. The first two build paths, if you're that guy, right? If you aren't that guy, this build's for you. Black Cleaver, Radiant, and Redemption. Why you do this build is if your team is winning, and like top lanes being like a bit of an NPC lane, you can run this build. The full build path for this build is Black Cleaver, Radiant, Redemption, Sterex, Gargoyles. I'm gonna flash the map on screen right now. Yeah, it's effective HP if you get the maximum amount of value from it. It's like around 16,000. But the idea is all the items are cheap. You support more important people on your team, and you just kind of exist to the benefit rather than disbenefit your team, right? Because if your team is like 16-0, why do you also need to be an AD threat when you could just support the people already winning, right? It's just the safest way to guarantee win cons. It's really good against like Lee Sin, like hard engage. Like if they're gonna like Lee Sin Q2 onto your center, you drop the Redemption on your center. Lee Sin, he can no longer kill center because of your Redemption and Radiant, right? So that's when you want to be looking to build that item path. Black Cleaver, Sterex, Even Shroud. There's two variations of this build. You can do Black Cleaver, Even Shroud, Sterex, or Black Cleaver, Sterex, Even Shroud. But both build paths are good. It just more so depends. Do you want earlier Sterex to like push a lead and like start steamrolling, or do you want Even Shroud to like enable other players, right? This build kind of does everything. So with the previous builds, you saw Black Cleaver, Yomu's aggressive, Black Cleaver, Radiant, supportive, right? Even Shroud kind of bridges those two like gameplay like ideologies together. Because Black Cleaver, Sterex, Even Shroud can split push, it can group, it can 1v1, it can skirmish, it can 2v2, 3v3. This build does literally everything, right? It is an enabler for yourself, it's an enabler for your team, it's an enabler for yourself. Even Shroud works on your E, it works on your R2 immobilization. It just has like so much synergy with Urgot's kit in general, right? So on the right side, behind me or above me, these are the items you want to be using to round out builds, or like situational items you can use, right? So let's say you're going against Mordekaiser, you want to be building that item right there, more Malmortius. More Malmortius against Kennen, Rumble. Any AP top laner, you want to be rushing Mort into, generally speaking, because Mort is like one of the most broken items of League of Legends, right? You literally can no longer lose AP matchups if you have decided. So if you see the Mordekaiser, and they have an AD jungler, you can sit on Hex Drinker, go into BC, and then finish more later, or sell more later if you want to buy Sterex. More can be built on any item slot, but it's better the earlier you get it, right? But generally speaking, all these items are like how you start finishing out these builds. Jack Show is there, obviously it's a mythic item. Jack Show can replace any mythic in the build path, so you can do BC, Jack Show, Sterex. You can't start Jack-Show. Jack-Show is better the later you get it. You can do 5th item, 6th item Jack-Show, and it'll be like optimal there. But you can build it 2 onwards, right? Never start Jack-Show on Urgot, it's too weak. You always want to be starting BC. As you can see on my roundout builds, I do not have Titanic Hydra. You know why I don't have Titanic Hydra? It's Fiddy. Stop building Titanic Hydra. The best piece of advice I can give to any Urgot main is stop relying on a crutch you don't need, right? When you build an item on Urgot, you're building an item on Urgot to like close a weakness, gap a weakness. What weakness does Titanic Hydra cover on Urgot? None, right? Because Urgot has wave clear, Urgot has AoE. You are basically hypnotized and like autopiloting into building Titanic Hydra. Because if you think about it, Black Cleaver, what weakness does Black Cleaver bridge? Black Cleaver gets you armor pen, Black Cleaver gives you movement speed, Black Cleaver gives you damage. That's 3 weaknesses cleared. What does Yomu's give? It gives movement speed, it gives damage. 2 weaknesses. What does Sterox give? HP, survivability, shielding. 3 weaknesses cleared, right? All these items have a purpose. Titanic Hydra only has a purpose if you're looking to AoE apply, Executioners, Serpent's Fang, and stuff like that, you know? Or if you're doing like a meme build with like Heartsteel, you can also go Titanic Hydra. But generally speaking, you need to get off the crutch of relying on Titanic Hydra. You don't need it every single lobby. Sure, you can slot it in, like, into every single build, right? But do you need to? Probably not. There is always a veteran slot item than the Titanic Hydra, right? So stop going Titanic Hydra. That's my rant about Titanic Hydra. Now we're going to the matchups. Hey, matchups. Here's the current top lane tier list for Urgot. If you have any questions about any of these matchups, feel free to drop a comment, like asking, oh, how do you play against, or why do you think Camille is favorable? Why do you think Malphite is favorable? And I'll be happy to answer you. But I wouldn't change much about this list, if anything. I think if the Nasus player is pretty bad, then the matchup can go to skill to favored. But right now, Nasus kind of by Sheen and then GG. A little bit sad. Ornn could be dodged here. But, it depends if they followed the Bible by Macro or not. Because Macro played against me and he built Warden's Mail. I just have PTSD running through my brain because I mentioned that. If you guys have seen the TikTok clips, holy moly. But, yeah. You can't play against Cassiopeia. She beats you on level 1. Is very wholesome. Olaf is my ban. Poppy's really broken right now. Trinimir still can abuse the bug of the ultimate. So, any questions? Join the Discord. If you want to talk live with a bunch of Urgot mains, drop a comment, and stuff like that. And also, guess what? Merch! Oh my god, keep this in and don't edit it so it's organic and awesome. Chat, I'm wearing my... I said chat. Subs, I'm wearing the Urgot merch right now. Wowzers, kawabooey, you feel me? If you're interested, hit me up. Okay, that's the video. Goodbye!